Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'd like the light to shine more on it. I'm gonna
Well-
see if they could move that spotlight,
Yeah,
you know?
okay.
Yeah, very, very dramatic.
Somebody messed this up, and it was all green, you know, and like the flowers disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the back, yeah.
Do you have the program from Jack? Is it some copies?
This is what I was saying, that I told the people in
Marlene, you sit next to us, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the whole row, the whole. My family will come, Irit, you know, Irit will come with your husband. So, Lisa will come, Daniel went to pick you up.
Don't worry about that. I'll be right back. I think just to keep up.
Yeah, that I got.
Some do other repairs on the outside, some don't. Ours does not do the roof. Yeah. Yeah, just 40 years. Yeah, no running around. Yeah. I've been here once. Yeah, where you go?
There's a camera.
I'm holding court.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going today
Check this out. Look at the camera. Look at the camera.
there's a Zoom meeting going on.
Look there. And do you see Leonie?
Oh, wow. And look, there's me. At least the bottom part of me.
Wait, look there. Do you see me?
Yeah.
In the camera.
We're starting soon. Behave yourself. So we're on the side of this. Do you remember this place? You were here, right? Yes.
Hey, beautiful. What you doing?
I mean, you can bring a couple off the stage.
Hey, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a long time. I'm not going this way. You're going wherever you guys have to go.
If I love the movie, I can feel like he was the best.
Testing, testing. Is this on? Testing, testing. Does this sound like it's on, Sandy? Do you hear? Yeah, it's testing. It's working. Okay.
Actually, if I'm teaching, it's by plants.
Oh, do you want me to run the office? You want me to? I don't, yeah.
How's that gonna work out?
We don't have the.
So Andrew, I used to. So I came out there. I made this 17, 18 positions. So what I usually do is I send them to that is
Oh, I know your legs did. You need to get in? Oh, I have this. Yeah, I agree. And I can always move the mic around. Yeah, I'm just going to put this back in Lydia's office. The mic is on, just here.
Careful what I said.
Yes. Hey, Joel and Sharon.
You hear what she did. Who's here? Last Friday.
I'm sorry, we weren't.
I know you were here.
Good to see you. Exactly. I know, we switched places.
How are you?
I know, that's so
I was
funny.
telling him we officially joined
Joined
that home.
the synagogue where we are.
Yeah.
So we were
What's
both
up?
at each other's synagogue.
How are you, Charlie?
That's right. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
New member. Yeah. In the play, in the show itself? They have a kosher dairy kitchen. I thought the central food was cake and
Because they told me that wasn't
they make it.
actually in-house cake.
But who actually cooks it? Just people from the show?
Right. They get a,
Yeah, I mean,
they get a, number of people.
right.
That's how they get it.
How many members do they have?
I don't know, I have to find out, but I'm guessing more than 200. I mean, for the new member dinner, not everybody was there. Like Jess's cousin, there were about 10 of us. So there might be 20 people. I don't know what period of time that new member did.
Right.
But they luck out with us. They're very close to.
Right, they're 15 minutes from where we are.
So good.
Also 15 minutes.
Is that where Lenore Marco?
No, I'm trying to.
What?
I'm joking. They're gonna, I said, next time we go, we don't go in. I said, next time we go.
Yeah, sure.
Because Jess is still saying college. I said to Jess.
She's so. She can't go Saturday, so.
I saw her, no, I saw
His
her.
daughter.
Yes.
That should be very nice. Committee work.
I mean, as long as we work.
And then we're gonna go, we'll be here from the beginning.
I heard somebody say go. That's the only reason I know. I can't listen.
Well, I saw him at the JCC thing. And he's saying, no, he's here actually. Jerry brought him. It's Friday night.
No, I think I was there too.
Were you there too? And,
Because I didn't realize it.
yeah.
All right, well, good. Musical accompaniment. Hopefully it'll be worth
So I asked them, he says,
worth positive comments.
Right.
All right, so it's good to see you guys in person.
Started at 15 minutes.
I know, isn't that funny? Everyone loves you, whoever's met you.
well, we know some of them already.
That's true. That's true.
You know, remember, no, it was funny. She's She's his man. She's part of his man.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
I
you
know.
met?
Oh,
I think I
yeah,
had told
yeah, you had told me, yeah. No, I know, she's very happy not being in the ministry.
No, she said that.
I-
But her daughter was there.
Her daughter was there.
Yeah, my daughter is a teacher now too.
She's teaching.
I used to teach her piano.
Most the rabbi said that these people know somebody you know. That she's trying to guess.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, she's such a great family.
She's very
The
nice.
boys are great.
And
She's great. Hi, nice to see you. I know. I think you probably live 5 minutes away from me. Right? What development are you?
Right across the
Okay. Yes, exactly. We're in Clearbrook. So
Oh, okay.
yes.
I knew you guys were in the same general area.
Yeah, very close. Like 5 minutes.
Are you senior center at all?
Not yet, because I'm still working in interest.
he hasn't
It's
decided he hasn't been.
well, I am a senior.
But not a senior as some of us.
In some ways. But a lot of the things that they have going on in terms of times with so eventually, hopefully. They do. I know. I see. They go to Broadway. There's a Broadway show coming up.
We're gonna sit here because we're used to sitting on this side.
That's what I wanted to tell you, we're gonna sit in our seats. We'll catch each other after.
Yeah, right. We saw each other for
Just a pattern.
That's very nice. I'm not surprised. Not surprised.
We're about, what do you do, about 25 minutes?
It was about 40. Go in.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That's what we turn the other way. I'm sorry.
No. It's
So
okay.
instead
I'm just
of
getting my music.
And then the next lane you made left, and it took us to the turnpike. Now the thing is, we got at 7 on 7.
Right, okay, yeah.
But it was easy. Yeah, and it wasn't the little streets and everything.
Right, yeah,
So
no
you
work
were on
out there.
13.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know how this street was maybe 13.
13 leaves. 13 leaves to.
Yeah, no, it was just like one turn and we were there. So yeah, it was easy. All right.
So let's go.
I'll go down your way too.
just likes looking at herself on camera. So. Yeah, I'm on the team. Yeah. Very excited. Do you have a program or not?
For me to know.
Okay. Okay. It's in my family.
And then we have coming up and actually.
And you've been there before, right? The grid's not going on the other side.
No, because also we pulled up at 1:30. So many people and so forth. So then he's like, why is everybody listening to me? It must have been a real like surprise. He's going to climb up on the roof. 3 hours in there.
You do you.
So you don't want to do it with you want to do it before?
Very small line.
Really, it's easy to get everything. I just have to tie this shit. The string keeps opening, and now I have it on the wrong side. I'm gonna have to ignore you for a minute. I think we're getting ready to start. Just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 second. I just need a moment.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you could please take your seats, and we will get started. We have a wonderful program planned, I think. Everybody will very befitting to our Chazan. All right, so if everyone would please rise and join us in the national anthem with Rob Schweitzer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous sky for the ramparts we'd watch was so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Stay standing, please. We're going to do the Israeli national anthem, Hatikva, if you know it by heart, or else just hum along. Kol od balevav enima nefesh Yehudi omiyah ufate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu hatikva shnot alpayim liodam chofshi be'ar Eretz Zion Yerushalayim Liodam Chofshi Be'artzeinu Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Thank you. Please be seated. Oh, who's that beautiful baby over there? Okay, so welcome again. I'd like to call up Arlene for a special presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was still on morning time. Were you? Right. Good afternoon, everyone. So it's my distinct honor to unveil a gorgeous plaque that we have in memory of Cantor Edry, and it says, dedicated to the memory of Cantor Mordechai Edry for his 41 years of selfless devotion to Congregation B'nai Jeshurun, and the years were 1984 to 2025. And I'm just going to come over here and show you. So this is not the finished product. Here is going to be a porcelain insert of this picture of the Cantor. It's going to be mounted on this wall, of course, where he sat.
Cantor's Corner.
Cantor's Corner. For all of those 41 years. And, okay. And,
It's on.
the porcelain insert is actually from Italy. And I again had the distinct privilege of proofing the insert that is going to be here. And so I just wanted everybody to get an idea of what it's going to, look like when it's fully mounted on the wall. So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Arlene. So we all have many remembrances of the Chazan, and I'm just going to share one of two remembrances I just wanted to share. One was Cantor Edry was here for 41 years. I knew him for about 38 of those years, and spent many years, probably up to about 15, 20, sitting next to him over here in the Cantor's Corner. And when we were in between rabbis, in particular, the congregants filled up some of the Shabbats with Devar Torahs and whatnot, and then the Cantor got more involved, and he would give us Devar Torahs every Shabbat. And then when Rabbi Sam came, they, switched off. And it was just such a revelation of how smart he was, and what a great teacher. And I know, seeing his notes, how prepared he was too. It was just a wonderful experience. He really was a terrific teacher and kept everybody interested. A different type of subject matter from Rabbi Sam, so they complemented each other really beautifully. My latest remembrance of him is after my husband passed away, which will be 2 years in April. And he was away because it was right at Passover, so he always took vacation around then. And he came back and he extended his condolences to me, and he said, I liked your husband. He said he was a quiet man, but I felt a connection to him, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to meet with him. And he points up and he looks up, and words that were a tremendous comfort to me, that I believe, because he was a believer in mysticism, and I know most of you, if not all of you, know how much he thought of Kabbalah, which interests me. I don't know very little about it, but he was really a mystic, and I believed him, and I hope it's true, because his neshama is up there now. So just wanted to share that with you, and I'd like to ask Rabbi Sam to come.
So I'm really glad and I'm grateful to the organizers that we get to do this. You know, he was such a presence in this community and this shul. And just a little tribute to him. There's some voices that do more than just sing. They carry memory, they carry tradition, they carry the fragile hopes of generations. Mordechai was such a voice. He reminded me of myself in some ways. You know, he grew up in Morocco, he grew up in an Orthodox family, and then he comes to America. Now, I grew up in America, so not that part. But I grew up in a shtetl on Crown Heights, you know, it's a little different. But he was constantly adjusting. He was finding a way to be authentically himself and yet not push his particular way or his the way that he grew up necessarily onto the congregation. I really appreciated when we would negotiate, for example, especially for the high holidays, you know, when you introduce English and the Hebrew, you can go on all day. And we would have to figure out, you know, what's reasonable to, you know, to cut. I mean, people can read it on their own if they want to, but, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy because different people have different priorities and different things that are nostalgic to them, different tunes. But he always found a balance that I really appreciated. He wasn't simply performing music. Like Sandy said, he saw himself as a teacher. He often would stop and try to teach the song, the lyrics. And I think that he was basically, in many ways, when I got here, he was acting as the rabbi for all intents and purposes, right? And he would, yeah, he would often correct me or give me a gentle nudge, and at first I was like, who does this guy think he is? and then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, actually, he's been around way longer than I have, and he knew his stuff. He really did, and I appreciated it. And instead of pushing back, I accepted it, and I said, okay. I didn't always agree. I didn't have to agree. But we found a way to work together respectfully, to be able to have seamless, I think I mentioned this at the funeral as well. Towards the end, as he just didn't have the energy, we kind of became like a sports team. And he would do a little signal or give me a look, which meant go read something in English because I need to catch my breath. And I don't know how many people were catching on to it. But it was a beautiful thing, and there would be last minute. I don't feel up to it. Can you cover, and vice versa. And he loved to travel, as many of you know. We really found a way to work together and understand and accept that life happens, and at the same time we can adjust, we can adapt. We don't have to get all bent out of shape. And so I certainly miss working with him. The silver lining is that the Newbergers are now more involved, and that's really beautiful, but there's still that gap. And at certain times we feel it. Yesterday we read from his Torah that he brought in, and during chanting the Megillah, for example, I kind of prepared it, and I didn't realize that he used to do most of it. And then I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, right. And so there's these little constant reminders of just how much energy and how much dedication he put in to this shul and into the community. Thank you.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because let me show you, I'll keep this open so you can see the beautiful, beautiful Torah he commissioned for us. Just gonna open it for a few minutes. It's really just
And, you know, I mean, it's basically an Ashkenazic shul, but nobody was going to say no to this.
really adds so much. I'll pull the curtain and see it later.
Okay, you can be seated. So Naomi Newberger had asked me to lead some songs from the liturgy that were particularly beautiful melodies to Cantor. So I'm going to do a couple, and if you already know these melodies, please sing along with me. And I think most of you will know them, and if you don't know the words, feel free to hum along, la-la along. Help me along. Okay, I'm going to give you translation first. Sim Shalom, most of us know that from our prayer book. Grand peace, welfare, blessing, grace, loving kindness, and mercy unto us and unto all your people, Israel. Blessed are you, O Lord, our God, who blesses your people, Israel, with peace. And boy, do we need that. Sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Again, sim shalom tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Barchenu Avinu Avinu, Kulanu Kulanu Echad, Behor Panecha Panecha, Panecha. Back to Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom Tova Uracha, Chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Kivor panecha necha, natalanu adoshen Elokeinu, Elokeinu. Sim shalom tova uracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. One last time. Sim shalom tova uracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Okay, and another one that most of you will know, Lador Vador. From generation to generation, we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity, proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, will never depart from our lips, for you are God and sovereign, great and holy. Praise to you, Adonai, holy God. Lidor vador, lidor vador, lidor vador, lidor vador, lidor vador, na gigad lecha. Lidor vador, lidor vador, lidor vador, na gigad lecha. Netzach netzachim, kedushatecha nakdish, kedushatecha nakdish. V'shkavchacha Eloheinu, v'hinu lo yamush, le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Lidor vador, lidor vador, lidor vador nagid gad lecha. Lidor vador, lidor vador, lidor vador nagid gad lecha. Netzach netzachim, kedushatecha nakdish, kedushatecha nakdish. V'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush, le'olam, le'olam va'ed.
Doesn't have to be so close. Frankly, I'm used to speaking down here. How many of you have ever heard of Modi? There we go. I'm not talking about Mordechai now. Modi is fantastic. An Israeli-born comedian who has really entered into the Jewish scene here in America. And like all good comedians, he's a wonderful satirist. And I've listened to him many, many times. One of my favorites is when he describes an aliyah that is given in a Sephardic shul and in an Ashkenazi shul. An aliyah is when you're called up to the Torah, you make the blessing, and then he describes two different worlds. The Sephardic shul, get up there, you make the blessing, and he blesses his father if he's still living, his mother, his children, his grandchildren, everybody here. Then he gives the name of everybody there. Then he goes down, and everybody gives him a blessing, and it's a whole big deal. Ashkenazi shul, make the blessing. You come down, shkoyach. Shkoyach, which is an abbreviation of Yasher Kochacha, may your strength be enriched, but from that you don't get enriched strength. A Sephardic acclamation, that's it. Yasher Kochacha. So this was the Ashkenazi side, and this was the Sephardi side. And yes, boy, am I an Ashkenazi Jew. And my hero is the Rambam, Maimonides, the one who analyzes, takes things apart, and tries to reconcile Judaism with the best of contemporary civilization. Frankly, that's me. That's what I'm trying to do. So there's a lot of analysis, very, very involved of our Torahs. I used to think of it almost as giving a university lecture. And then Sephardi side. And I would find, as it was already noted, many Jewish books of mysticism from the Zohar and Kabbalah. When do I study Zohar and Kabbalah? Very, very little bit. Of course, I'm in touch with it because it's a part of my heritage, and especially on special occasions, on Shavuot, which is a highly mystical holiday. I usually used to do something from Jewish mysticism. Otherwise, no. Down to earth. I'm earthbound. I'm an Olam Hazeh Jew. But we appreciated each other. We appreciated what each was given, the dimensions. And he told me he loved my Devar Torahs. And I appreciated his ruach, his spirit, how he was always ready to go into orbit. Just give him an occasion. Don't give him a drink. Because there won't be one drink. And of course, Purim was his holiday. Live for Purim. He was Mordechai. And then occasionally we would have differences, especially political differences. I'm going to mention a very uncontroversial name, Donald J. Trump. He loved Trump. And I just couldn't understand it. And once we were going to a wedding, we were both asked to preside over the occasion, and I was driving, and he was alongside me, and of course, inevitably, we got into a political discussion. And every time I would, or he would actually begin raising the subject matter of Trump, and I would voice, well, what about this? What about that? You know, how can you? And every time he had an answer. Wasn't a very good answer as far as I was concerned, but it was an answer. You know, explained everything. And finally, the temperature was rising in the car, and it reached the absolute boiling point when he said, "He is the Mashiach!" And I answered something along the lines, Mordechai, du bist der Mashiach. Translation, Mordechai, something wrong up there. He understood me because amongst his many accomplishments, he learned Yiddish. And now, who has the last laugh? Who has the last laugh? I was very impressed. And when I'm impressed, it's on a spiritual level. When Trump missed being president by an ear, that registers with me. And I said, theologically, what's going on here, Hashem? And then, and then, and then. And now, we are in the midst of what may be, we call it in Hebrew, Milchemet Gog v'Magog, the final war before the Geula, the redemption. Nobody knows. I certainly don't. But one thing I do know is this, that if this man had not been president, Israel, the whole project of the return of the Jewish people to their homeland, would not only be in jeopardy, it might be, God forbid, dead. That's how critical are the times in which we live. And I've even mentioned it here on some occasions. Oh, Mordechai, how could you have known what kind of mystical and transcendent knowledge allowed you to see what I was absolutely blind to? That this man, this strange man, and in the spirit of Purim I call him Achashverosh, because you never know which whim is going to go in which direction. And yet, for the Jewish people, both here in America, in which we are enduring now, fountains of Jew hatred that we have not known, certainly I have not known in my lifetime, from both the right and especially the left. How could you have known? So celebrate with us, Mordechai, as we celebrate your life here, as we recount the days and the years of your ruach, of your spirit, of your dedication. And for this Jew at least, for this Ashkenazi who prides himself in data and knowledge and analysis and this and that and could not see what you saw so clearly. How strange and how wonderful and how privileged we are. L'chaim.
Now we have a group medley.
Hello, good afternoon. This is working. I don't know if this is I'll hold it. Hello. I recognize a lot of faces here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nathaniel, or Natani Newberger. That was my dad, you just heard. Always a tough act to follow, and I'm not going to even try. I just wanted to say a couple of things because unfortunately I was not here for the funeral, wasn't able to come. But obviously I knew Cantor probably since I was about 5 or 6 years old. Always, you know, he's a unique person. I'm not going to reiterate all the speeches you heard, but always very happy. I particularly remember him on Simchat Torah, really getting into the spirit of Simchat Torah. One year he was even pretending to be an Ashkenaz rabbi, which obviously you heard there's lots of cultural differences. He sang, he would put back the Torah, he would sing it to an Italian medley. I mean, just always ready to have a good time. My parents had him over many, many times to our house for all sorts of Shabbos and holiday meals. And obviously he had a very unique point of view and really unique presence. And like I said, I have lots of memories of him at my house and obviously at the shul. And I'm certainly going to miss him a lot. So, but in the spirit of Mordechai and why we're all here today, I think he would want us to, to be happy, really to celebrate the good times, that we remember him by. And one of the things that we're going to do here is there were a lot of times that Mordechai was kind of put on the spot. There was maybe like an event that the caterer was running. They were not ready on time. We had to kind of keep the shul people here, not go in the back and disturb the preparations. So he was put on the spot to kind of slow things down, stall people from going through the exit to the social hall. So in those type of instances, he would come up here and sing a few songs. And we're going to do that now. But before we do that, I just want to, get you into the spirit. So I'm going to tell you a little story about a very old man. Very old. He lived in the edge of the town. People didn't really know him very well, but he was known for being at the edge of town. He'd been living there as long as people could remember, and then some. And then one day, he just died, And people looked around, and they basically said something like, "How did he die? Did he die, 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 die? How did he die? How did he die? Did he die, 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 die? How did he die? Did he die? Ay, 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 ay. How did he die? Did he die? Ay, 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 ay. הרוח נושבת ריאה, נוסיפה כרסם למדורה, וגם במסורות ארגמן, האש יעלה כקורבן. האש יעלה וצירה, מזמרת סובב, לא סובב הפינג'ן. לה 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 לה. סובב הפינג'ן. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי, עם ישראל חי. Am Yisrael Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu, Od Avinu, Od Avinu Chai. Od Avinu Chai. Saluk hayayin vereach oranim. Nitza beruach ha'arbaim im kol pahamonim. Uvetadem atilan ba'erev shruya b'chalomah. Ha'ir asher badad yoshevet ubeliba choma. Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or halo lechol shirayim anikinot. Yerushalayim shel zahav v'shel nechoshet v'shel or halo lechol shirayim anikinot. Thank you.
Okay, hard acts to follow. And always after I speak after Rabbi Newberg, it's always very difficult for me to get back in and try to compose myself, but I'm going to try. A remembrance of our beloved Cantor. We all know that our beloved Cantor was a complex person with deep feelings for many, many things: religion, art, traveling, cooking, and the list goes on and on. On any given Shabbat, when he knew that Rabbi Sam or Rabbi Newberger couldn't be with us, he would be studying over his books and computer to make sure that his Devar Torah was full of information and thought-provoking material that we had never heard before. You know, after you keep hearing the same Torah portion over and over, you always try to find something different. And that was always the case with Cantor. He was always studying. Many years ago, he heard about several Russian young boys who never had the opportunity to have a bar mitzvah. He organized a fundraiser to buy tefillin and talesim and to call each boy for an aliyah to the Torah. He made a beautiful kiddush in their honor, and we all knew that most of the money was donated by him. It was a very moving experience. He also married several Russian couples in accordance with our religion because he knew that they couldn't do so. He loved art and learning about the artists and appreciated all their works. When we had an auction here, he would purchase many pieces and give them as gifts to people that he knew who couldn't afford to buy them for themselves. That was as big as his heart was. He also loved cooking and sharing his Moroccan recipes and soups with guests at his house and barbecues when the weather was nice. No one wanted to leave because you felt like family. That was how you were treated. He always loved to travel. When Atara got married in Israel, I had the opportunity to travel with him and Nadia. He was an excellent guide, taking us to places that he knew that we wouldn't see because the opportunity might not avail itself again. I still remember that trip with such great memories. He always found comfort also in the beaches, especially in the Philippines. And oh yes, I forgot to tell you one very, very important thing about Cantor. He loved women. It is said that there was always a crowd here on Friday night, and because people wanted to see who that beautiful young woman was sitting in the very last row. And with that said, please indulge me while I sing a little song by Ricky Nelson called I'm a Traveling Man. I'm a traveling man, and I made a lot of stops all over the world. And in every port, I own the heart of at least one lovely girl. There was a pretty senorita waiting for him down in old Mexico, and a beautiful babe in Waikiki who wanted to hold him oh so tight. Well, I said to him, Cantor, please don't tell me their names because I don't want to mix them all up. Well, he finally found his sunshine in dear Nadia. And for the last 15 years, they were soulmates sharing their lives together. And she and I sat just where she's sitting now, and he often would stare at her when he was doing his Devar Torah, and just to get her beautiful smile back at him. And that's the way it was for the last 15 years. I have to say, on a personal note, my family and I were privileged to know him those 41 years. And we appreciated him for his depth of knowledge, his sensitive heart as big as anything that you could possibly think of, and his love of many, many things, and most of all, for his dedication to our community for those 41 years, without a doubt, and for his melodious voice. We will miss him terribly, and I can still think of him maybe coming out of the closet or somewhere as coming back from wherever his travels were. And I have that hope that he's going to appear, but may his memory be for a blessing.
Hello, everyone. It's great to see so many people from our community here. I was deeply honored when Cantor Edry gave me the title of Chazan Sheni in late 2024. I believe that the most important aspects of leading prayers for a congregation are believing in what you're doing and putting your heart and soul into your davening 100%. Cantor Edry did this, and I try very hard to do the same. I learned from observing him and by listening to his singing and phrasing. We understood each other well musically. This past year, I had the honor of leading parts of our high holiday services. I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation to Cantor Edry, Rabbi Sam, Rabbi Naomi Newberger, and our entire congregation for your support and encouragement. I went up to the Bima on Yom Kippur afternoon to daven Mincha. I visualized Cantor Edry saying to me, "Danis, you are the Chazan Sheni. Do your best." At that moment, something inside of me stirred and drove me. I felt electrified and fully charged. When I came down from the Bima, after saying Avinu Malkeinu and completing Mincha, my eyes were moist from the emotions I felt and the intensity of the experience. I would like to sing a song now that I sang one evening after Kathy and I saw a lovely concert of classical music. We decided to use the respective restrooms before departing on our journey home. I came out of the restroom first, and while I was standing in the lobby, I noticed that the acoustics there were really good, and I started to sing. A man came into the lobby, and he heard me singing, and he started to do a gentle dance. He said out loud, "I know this song." This song lauds Hashem as the infinite creator of all. We feel Hashem's loving embrace, for Hashem is with us. We have no fear. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Zinivra Le'ez Nasa V'etz HaKol Azai Melech Shemo Nigra V'yacharei Kiklot HaKol Levado Yimok Nora V'hu haya v'hu hoveh v'hu yiyeh b'tifara. Sing with me. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'etz Nasa V'etz HaKol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Buhe echad v'yein sheni Laham shilo lahakbira B'lei reshit b'li tachlit V'lo ha'oz v'hamisra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'etz Nasa V'etz HaKol Azai Melech Shemo Nigra V'hu Eli V'hago Ali V'zor Hevli V'yesara V'hu Nisi Umanos Li Manakos Li V'yom Ekra Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Le'etz Nasa V'etz HaKol Azai Melech Shemo Nigra Biyado Avkid Ruchi B'etz Ishan B'ya'ira V'imruchi Geviyati Adonai li V'lo ira Adon Olam Asher Malach בטרם כל יציר נברא, בעץ נשא ועץ הכל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. Thank you. Thank you, Cantor Edry.
Nadia? And then Naomi's going to join you and speak.
We'll sing together. Speaking today is not easy for me, but I wanted to share a few memories of Mordechai with all of you who loved him. Thank you for all being here today. It means a lot to me that we can remember Mordechai, Martin Edry, our dearest Cantor, all together. For many of you, Mordechai was the beloved Cantor of our synagogue, the beautiful voice that led our praise and filled this place with music and soul. For me, he was much more. He was my beloved partner for 15 years, my companion in life, in laughter, and in so many unforgettable moments. Mordechai loved music deeply. Singing was not just something he did, it was part of who he was. Through his voice, he touched people's hearts and made prayer feel alive. But Mordechai also loved the simple joys of life. He loved cooking, as it was mentioned, and we spent many happy hours in the kitchen together. Sometimes the kitchen felt like another stage for him, with music playing, something wonderful on the stove, and a lot of laughter along the way. He always told me that he wished he could be a baker and had his own bakery or even a restaurant. And Mordechai had a wonderful sense of humor. He used to tell me, "Nadia, you don't understand anything in America." And I would answer, "Yes, of course, I'm an immigrant." And he would smile and say, "So I am, but somehow I understand everything." That was Mordechai, always teasing, always making me laugh. He also loved traveling, and we explored many places side by side. One very special trip was to Israel when we went to pick up Sefer Torah, you saw it, for our synagogue. It was a meaningful and sacred journey, but also a funny one. At one point, we ate something and it was very hot. We drank a lot of water and we took turns running to the bathrooms. And somehow, in the middle of such an important mission, we couldn't stop but laughing. That was Mordechai. Even in serious moments, he brought warmth, humor, and light. The house is quieter now without his singing, but the memories of his voice, his kindness, his laughter, and the love we shared for 15 years remain with me every day. Even though his voice no longer fills the synagogue, when I close my eyes, I can still hear it, strong, joyful, and full of soul. In Jewish tradition, we say, Zichrono Livracha, may his memory be a blessing. And truly, the memory of Mordechai Martin Edry will always be a blessing to me and to all who knew and loved him. May his soul be bound in the bond of eternal life, and may his music continue to live in our hearts. There is one song that Mordechai and I plan to sing together. I would like to sing it now in his memory and to celebrate the joy he brought into our lives. Sim shalom tova uvrecha hen vahesed v'rachamim aleinu aleinu ve'yakol Israel lamecha. Sim shalom tova uvrecha hen vahesed v'rachamim aleinu aleinu ve'yakol Israel lamecha. Sim sim shalom tova uvrecha hen vahesed v'rachamim aleinu aleinu ve'yakol Israel lamecha. And now Naomi will join me.
We are remembering a lot of aspects of Mordechai's life, what he loved, what he enjoyed. Those of you who are familiar with some of the music that Mordechai had put out over the years at various discs, and one of these pictures that's right here, as a matter of fact, was a cover for one of those discs that he produced with 20 songs in Hebrew, in Chazan style, and in Ladino. Most of you know that Ladino is the language that Sephardic Jews, we spoke about Sephardic and Ashkenazi, that Sephardic Jews used to speak to each other in their families, in their schools, and it's really a composition of Spanish and Hebrew. And there are a lot of beautiful songs that over the years I've heard Mordechai sing. Nadia and I are going to try and sing a couple of them. Cuando el rey Nimrod al campo salía, miraba en el cielo y en la estrella, vido una luz santa en la judería que había de nacer Abraham Avinu. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. El Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. And a second song, which is called Adio Querida, and that's the adio that you see on the cover there. Goodbye, My Beloved, is a traditional Ladino ballad, often considered an anthem of Sephardic heritage, expressing the deep, poignant pain of exile and unrequited love. Believed to have originated from Spanish Jewish roots, it symbolizes the 1492 expulsion from Spain and is frequently interpreted as a bitter farewell to a former homeland. Of course, besides that, a lot of people also think about it as a romantic ballad about a failed or bitter or painful relationship. Okay. Do you have it? I don't. I all of a sudden lost it, so I'm going to go with you. Okay. Adio, adio querida. Please join if you know it. Quiero la vida, me la mandaste su. Adio, adio querida. No quiero la vida, me la mandaste tú. Tu madre cuando te parió y te cuidó el mundo, corazón helado te dio para amor segundo. Corazón helado te dio para amor segundo. Adio, adio querida, no quiero la vida, me la mandaste tú. One more time. Adio, adio querida, no quiero la vida, me la mandaste tú.
Adam? Adam Rackman?
So just to preface this note that I wrote about Cantor Edry a little differently, I never got to have those high intellectual conversations with him. I didn't know him in that regard, but I knew him in a very different way. April 20th, 2025, a date that CBJ changed forever. Aside from blood relatives, there's not many people that I can say know me for my entire life, give or take a year or two. Cantor Edry is one of those people. He is some of the oldest memories I have of CBJ. The Cantor's presence is so embedded throughout the grounds that as I look around, I can remember the Cantor on so many different times of my life. Looking up at him on this bima at the pulpit I'm standing at right now, on a Friday night or Saturday morning for Shabbat services, listening to his beautiful voice. Or the times in the social hall during the community Seder, when the podium was taller than me, and the children from the synagogue would sing for the elderly. Or standing on the steps right there, singing during an unofficial choir that the Cantor always wanted to have. Fast forward to about 12 years old when bar mitzvah lessons started, and I would hear his voice on a cassette tape every week, and then meet with him upstairs in his office, or sitting on one of the pews where you folks are sitting now, in the sanctuary to see how practicing was going, to make sure I was on pace to really do and perform very well. The Cantor was such a part of our family that my interactions with him were not only confined to CBJ. He also had some less than fun tasks and officiated several of the losses in the Rackman house. And then on the lighter side of that, when he officiated my brother's wedding, while reading and singing the ketubah, the city of Jersey City never sounded better than sung in Hebrew. Rabbi, I think you remember that one, Rabbi Newberger. The list goes on and on. From playing backgammon during Yom Kippur before Mincha, outside, helping him to satisfy the symbolic prostration during the Avodah service when his back and his knees couldn't really do it anymore. Yaakov, you also helped out with that one. Yaakov is here. Or the Cantor asking me or another congregant to chant Musaf on Shmini Atzeret because he didn't want to get sprayed by a water gun by Rabbi Newberger's kids during the prayer for rain. He was so involved in so many events that took place here and influenced so many lives, it's still hard to believe he's gone. But by us sharing these stories and passing on what he's taught us, it will help to keep his memory alive. And that's something that I've kind of spoken on several occasions when I've been privileged to work with some of the younger kids that are part of the Hebrew school program, and I'm helping them to learn for their Haftorahs, for their bar and bat mitzvahs. Cantor Edry, you are truly missed, and I pray that you are leading Shabbat services for all our dearly departed ones until we meet again.
Hi, I'm Lila. I'm Izzy. Nice to meet you. It's nice to see you all. Cantor Edry was a huge part of our childhood and our musical minds. He always inspired and pushed us to sing many, many tunes to Adon Olam, and one of them that he loved so much.
Yeah, every Shabbat he would request this version, no matter which one we wanted to play. So we thought it would be appropriate to perform this one for him today.
I just remember him yelling at us when we were sitting in this bench right here going, "Do the version I like, do the version I like." And, you know, we always said yes, so here's the version he likes. There we go, I got it. Adon Olam Asher Mala B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam Asher Mala B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'Yaharei Kivlot HaKol Levado Yimlok Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hove Vehu Yeh Betifara Adon Olam Asher Mala B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Vehu Ehad Ve'en Sheni Lehamshilo Lehabira Beli Reshit Beli Tachlit Velo Ha'oz Ve'hamishra Adon Olam Asher Mala B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Vehu Eli Ve'Ago Eli V'Tzor Hevli B'Yitzhara Vehu Nisi Umanos li menakosi beyom ekra Adon Olam Asher Mala B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra B'Yado Av Kidruhi V'Yein Tishan Ve'ayira Ve'imruhi Geviati Adonai Li Velo Ira Adon Olam Asher Mala B'Terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Li Nasa V'Chetzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra.
I liked your little Western hoedown there. I'm Kathy Cass, and I'm so jealous of all of you who had these experiences. My life was more like the sandwich around the end brackets around all of these stories. Well, Cantor Edry used to say, what does it mean, v'ne'emar, and we all just sit there stunned. Well, I actually did write this. Yasher koach and yasher kocha. And I want to thank you all for your heartfelt memories and passionate voices. You're all very beautiful. So, my parents, Morris and Jackie Tissenbaum, became members of B'nai Jeshurun about the time Cantor Edry made his CBJ debut. Part of his mystique was his calm, elusive, light-footed stealth and subtlety. One moment on the bima, gone the next. He would furtively walk to the back of the sanctuary and sneak up behind us teenage girls and gleefully observe our extraordinary efforts to keep up with Rabbi Neuberger's speed reading through the Torah. He was naturally curious and mischievous. That never changed. And he found us all very amusing. Over the years, our paths crossed infrequently, but Cantor Edry remembered me, and we spoke amiably while mingling among various congregations at community events. He remembered everyone and took everything in stride. Serendipity brought me to the dedication of the magnificent Torah Cantor Edry commissioned for and donated to our congregation. But it was not until a few years later, in the spring of 2020, that I learned that CBJ had already become an egalitarian congregation. I decided then that I was all in and was grateful to be among my parents' generation of congregants and to experience Cantor Edry's humor and gentle guidance again. Cantor Edry was imaginative and expressive, challenging us to think more deeply about the significance of Torah. In addition to quizzing us on the Parsha HaShavua, he occasionally would share his Kabbalistic interpretations, linking them to world events, and his melodious recitation of the prayers was like a soothing lullaby. Within the year of my return, I began chanting Haftarot at our Shabbat services and had the honor and the pleasure of learning Torah for the first time, standing side by side with Cantor Edry before his beautifully inscribed Torah on Rosh Hashanah 2024. He encouraged and complimented my renditions. I am grateful for Cantor Edry's validation and blessing, whose wisdom and experience I respected and admired. He would have wished peace on all of us, and I miss him. Yum diddy di di di, yum diddy di di di, yum diddy di 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 di, yum diddy 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 di 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 di. Oh, say shalom bimroma, uya say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imaru amen, amen. Yum diddy di di di, yum diddy di di di, yum diddy di 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 di. Yum diddy di di di, yum diddy di di di, yum diddy di 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 di. Oh, say shalom bimromav, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imaru, v'imaru, amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al kol yoshvi tevel. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
So I think one of those moments that the cantor used to teach us was at the beginning of the Ne'ilah, the song known as Adon HaSlichot, And for some reason, the particular refrain wasn't in the book, and so he had to teach it to us, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to do it. And it went like this. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Again. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Adon haslichot bochen livavot gole amukot dover tzedakot chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu Hadur beniflaot, vatik benachamot, zocher berit avot, choker kilayot, chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. So one of the things that the Cantor was most proud about was forcing me to go high in my voice. Here's the thing. I was able to do it because I was going along with him. You don't want to hear it all.
Thank you, Rabbi. Lila and Isabel? And before Lila and Isabel conclude for us, I just would like to take a moment to thank the committee that worked very, very hard on this, not that, but it was done with love, a lot of love. Naomi, who led the charge, our Repetson, and Sylvia Friedman and Sherry Swally, Arlene Rackman and Marcia Kulik. Well done. And Nadia, of course.
Hi again. So I just want to say a little story before we go into this. Sheikh Hayanu with Cantor Edry was either a contest or it wasn't. You know, we kind of just let him do his own thing on the stage, but he usually made it who can do it faster. And we tried it very fast. It's very hard, but I hope he's proud of listening to this. Baruch atah Hashem Eloheinu melech haolam, shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazeh. Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazman Hazeh Hazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazman Hazeh Hazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazeh Sheh Yanu Vicky Yanu Vicky Yanu Lazman Hazeh Hazeh Lazman Hazeh.
Thank you so much for coming. I invite you all to the social hall, and there's some memorabilia that I think you'll enjoy watching. Thank you again.
And for those on Zoom, that concludes the service or event.
practice something over and over again, you do it like it's reflex. My keys were all insurance and stuff. This is for her. My name is Rick. Sorry, my body is sending me signals. I have a neighbor that I've known since I was a kid. I help him time to time and live up street.
What is this? Oh, your bag? I'm like, hold on one second. Recently. Because of the cold weather, we're the same.
I'm home today, but it's supposed to snow next week.
Well, the first one's just harder. It's more interesting. Begin like now.